Welcome to Gold and Craft.
All right, welcome back to another installment
Woo-wee!
of
We're back, baby.
Golden Craft Cast. This is our Halloween episode. We're only doing one, but it's a good one.
Spooky.
It's extra spooky and extra special, and it goes on a very specific Halloween theme. A monster, you would say. Vampires. Blood-sucking
Yes.
vampires.
For me, it's just I don't know why, but this year a lot of vampire stuff is coming back. They're
Yeah.
everywhere. They're all over the place. It's really hitting. I mean, last year we got in the year I think it was 2023 we got What We Do in the Shadows, the TV series.
I think it was
And I
right
think
before
ever
that.
since
Yeah.
I feel like ever since What We Do in the Shadows like came back with that new series and stuff like that,
Mm.
everybody's just kind of like been like on vampires and like vampire lore and stuff, kind of like going back to it
Yeah.
like they were in the Twilight days.
Yeah, I don't think it's ever stopped. It's just different every time. It just has like, oh, this is a new vampire thing. With like Twilight, that was Twilight. And then with What We Do in the Shadows, that's like its own little community. It's like, oh, it's funny. It's like the movie, but it's like a TV series and they're making
Yeah.
fun of like, the tropes of like being a vampire and all this stuff. So, yeah, that's what it is. Like you have to keep up with like the tropes and the freaking um what would I call it? They just the
Just the
characteristics of like vampire and everything like that.
and you know what's weird is like depending on what type of series, like certain vampires will have certain things. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like
that's true.
obviously like the underworld vampires, you know, are like way more they can like jump far and like do crazy shit, you
They can't
know?
fly. That's the thing.
Yeah. And I think the Van Helsing vampires, they were like they had wings and shit and they could actually
They
fly
could
and pick
form.
people up and
Yeah,
turn into crazy shit.
I
But I
know.
mean, I had the idea of this episode just going through HBO Max and looking at TV shows and movies like right now we have Salem's Lot and the remake as well,
Hmm.
and also Interview with the Vampire and Interview with the Vampires remake as well on Amazon Prime. So I told Serge, you know, like they're obviously, you know, mirroring each other. We have these two new versions of these old versions of media, and like I think it would be cool if we watched them all and then kind of compared both. So that's kind of what this episode is going to consist of. We're going to focus on Interview with the Vampire, Salem's Lot, and then Serge's got a segment on Bram Stoker's Dracula that he's going to
Yeah,
do. And then later on, towards the end, we got a cool sip on this that we'll mention as one of our pillars as well. But stay tuned for that one. But you know
so
how we do.
exciting.
Before we get into the good stuff, we're going to start off with the good old fashioned beer.
Beer. That's what we do.
Yes. What do we got, Serge? Serge picked these out for us. So thank you, Serge, because
Yeah,
you're the man.
I'm just man. So I got this one. It's called Out for Blood because obviously we're talking about vampires. Even though like the cover's like, yeah, it's like what are they? It's like zombies. It's like people that
Yeah,
are just like out for blood.
it kind of reminds me of like what's that one movie that where they go out and they have like the mask and it's like they have like oh the purge.
The Purge, yeah.
Like the purge kind of vibe, you know? They have like bats in their hands. It's like some people wearing some government kind of I don't know, some dress shirts with some pocket protectors and bats
The
and
forces.
different weapons in their hands, and they're wearing like gas masks, and then there's like this ghostly what would you say that guy is, like a ghost rider looking dude.
Yeah, he's like a. He seems like a demon from I don't know from one part of hell, and he just
To me he
has
looks
like
like go ahead, what'd you think?
he looks like well the art style it kind of seems like what do you call it I don't know exactly
Like
what to call it, but I'm getting like kind of like Black Cauldron type of vibes.
okay,
Yeah, and something I don't
very
know, very
macabre.
very macabre, very like I don't know, very comic booky type of thing.
See, what I'm getting is like sci-fi. This artist reminds me of the same one that does the artwork for Paperback Brewing Company.
Yeah,
Very similar art style, kind of like that vintage 1960s look, but this one's from Bottle Logic.
yeah,
So, they like to put a lot of details and stuff on their on the side of their cans. Says pour in a glass, keep cold, drink fresh. Pairs well with orange steak fajitas. Okay.
really. I was just looking
4.8,
at that.
20 IBU, one
It,
solid pint, out for blood blonde ale with blood
excuse me.
orange. There you go.
There you
So
go.
let's give these a crack.
Indeed.
It says right here, the forces of evil never rest. Dead March and his acolytes are out for blood.
So it's a demon that's controlling a group of people to do his
Awesome.
bidding.
Fucking cool. We say fuck a lot in this podcast. I realized when I was
Fuck
listening
yeah,
back,
we
I'm like,
do.
dude, I can't even. We cuss a lot in this podcast.
It's
That's what we
okay.
do. It's
That means
not
we're
gonna be
trustworthy.
okay.
We're very good
Having a great
people.
time doing it.
Yeah.
Cheers to the craft, my man.
Cheers.
I'm loving the color on
I
this.
like it. Oh
Very
my god. Do you see?
Heffenweisen E.
Do you see the Look at that. It's like all
We
this
got some
fucking.
floaters.
We got some floaters. We got all these hostages floating about. It's crazy.
I don't even know if that's floater. I don't even know because sometimes they put lactose in it,
It doesn't have
and that's what
lactose.
gives it like the haziness. I'm gonna
Hold
put a
on.
light under this just so we can get the full effect here. Let's see. What do you tell? What's the?
This is
Hey
like
Siri, Lumos.
Lumos.
There you go.
Harry Potter.
Oh.
Oh. It just looks like
Yeah, you can see. I mean,
I
in
can
the
see it
back,
on
you can
mine.
kind of see. In yours, you could see the floaters. In mine, oh yeah, now I can see them.
You could see
They're
them,
like
but I don't have.
really small dots. There's definitely some floaters in there, but advertise it to pour in a glass. So that's what you
Cheers.
got to do. Here's to the craft.
Mm,
Mmm.
interesting.
I could see where the steak fajitas come in.
Yep. It's a
What
bit
the
of a.
hell?
It gets a.
Uh,
It's getting like a little bit of a zesty taste to it. It
citrusy
definitely.
vibes.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting like the. First, I taste like the blood orange, and then I get like
Hmm.
the alcohol, just like
Yeah. And it's a 4.8. It's not even
yeah, it's
past
not that
five.
strong.
It's close, but it does have a very like solid body for sure.
It smells like
You
orange
know,
juice, straight up.
I'm getting like a really Heffenweisen kind of vibe, even though it's a blonde ale. It's really got like a lot of citrusy notes,
Yeah,
very tart on the forefront, kind of packs a sour punch for me in the beginning.
I'm getting the
But
tardiness at
yeah,
the aftertaste. Yeah, I'm getting
yeah,
like
we'll
a
give you a mid
mid
can
check.
review later.
It's a mid check.
A beer check.
Yeah, a beer check. I shouldn't call it mid check. That's a completely different meaning on it. Anyways,
Okay. Yeah,
we
you
are
just changed the whole subject of the podcast in one sentence. There you go.
mid. That's not what we are.
Well, well, what we are here is vampires, and I think what we should start off first is what do you want to talk about first? The interview with the
I
vampire
think we should go for
Amazon
interview.
Prime series or the 1990s?
I think we should go for yeah. Let's do the movie first since it came out first.
Okay.
And by the way, it's not an Amazon Prime series. I don't know what it is. It's AMC apparently.
It's AMC. I just saw it on Amazon Prime. I know that it's available there. But
Yeah,
we're gonna go. You
we
want to
get that
go with the
subscription.
1990s version or
Yeah, let's go for the
the
'90s
AMC?
version.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah,
So,
because with the
ah,
'90s version, when it came out, I gotta say, like a lot of people were happy that Tom Cruise, you know, casted us Lestat because
yeah,
he was too much of like that type of like an A-list actor with like a pretty face and Yeah, a lot of people didn't see him as like that top because he was Maverick. He was fucking Top Gun. He was that guy from Cocktails. He was like before that movie. I
Do you
think it
want to
was
watch
right
the
before Mission
trailer?
Trailer. I think this is right before Mission Impossible. Yeah, if you
Do you
want.
want to watch the trailer real quick? I
Yeah,
got it already.
for sure.
Let's go ahead and go into YouTube mode.
YouTube.
What do you say we get started?
Beetlejuice. Same guys from Beetlejuice.
So you want me to tell you the story of my life?
Yes.
I'll tell you my story.
Yes.
I'll tell you all of it.
Yeah, tell us
Yes.
your story. Look
Tell
at
us
that
your
ponytail,
story.
bro.
That ponytail
That
just
ponytail
works.
is
I'm
legit.
flesh and blood.
That ponytail.
I think in the
like,
90s they were just about ponytails. You got John Travolta in a ponytail. You got Brad Pitt in a ponytail.
From the novel.
You're
It was
right.
just a ponytail decade, bro. That's
I think it
what
was like in
in.
between like the 80s and the 90s. That's when the ponytail was like at peak.
I've come to answer your prayer.
What I
I
think
just felt
about
like it
is in The Sopranos. Remember the guy from that his wife ends up falling in love
Oh
with
yeah,
the
yeah,
Italian guy.
yeah. That guy.
Ponytail. It was just
Ponytail.
they loved the ponytails back in the day.
You know what? I think if you already see like romance novels, like back in the days,
Yeah.
or even today, all the guys like in the covers, they have like long hair. They look like
Yeah.
Brad Pitt,
He gave him infinite
Fabio.
power.
Fabio.
That's
They
what
got the
kinda look
Fabio
like.
look. Yeah. That's what I'm
Oh,
gonna call
I don't
it.
even remember seeing that part with the eyes.
Who would
That
be
shit was weird.
forever
That was
young.
creepy.
I think
don't
that
even
was-
think that was in the movie.
I think that's part of the trailer, not the movie.
The only real evil.
Dude, honestly, like I did not expect Antonio Banderas to come in clutch like he did in that movie. That
Bro, they mentioned Antonio Banderas from this movie in
Yeah.
the first episode of What We Do in the Shadows.
You know that this is a book originally.
Yeah, it's a whole series of books by Anne Rice. So it's like,
And Price, that's right.
yeah, so she has a whole collection of the vampire series, and then there's like a witch series, the Mayfair Witches, which
Oh,
they do
shit.
mention. Yeah, they do mention in this books. But
Man, I gotta say, like that whole scene when they were burning the house down, that was a crazy scene too.
bro, burning down houses
But-
is always crazy. I don't know how they do it. Kirsten
Man,
Dunst in this movie was
Brad
fucking
Pitt.
incredible.
Stephen Ray,
Like,
Antonio Banderas, Kirsten Dunst, and
girl,
Christian Slater.
Christian Slater,
Stephen
Interview
Ray.
with the vampire.
The Vampire Chronicles. That's the series. Yeah. And I think after this movie or book or whatever, there was also Queen of the Damned,
I'm leaving activity.
which I'm gonna mention later on. I don't want to be a host of this, but yeah, that was the
So
first.
that's
of
it.
the
I
series.
mean, oh man, the '90s, right? Jesus,
Yeah.
you can't get more '90s than Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt, and then with the little one in there, the Kristen Dunst,
Kirsten,
Miss Jumanji herself.
Miss
You know?
Jumanji yourself.
I think this was right before Jumanji, right?
Yeah, it was right before Jumanji. It was fucking right before like Suicide Virgins and
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Oh, like, yeah,
Yeah, she's such a great actress. I didn't realize that.
dude, she was a force to reckon with in this movie.
Hell
Honestly,
yeah.
like that whole scene, she was like, "I'll give you your grave. I'll give you your coffin."
Just the way that she was so mature, like, cause she
Yeah.
started off like innocent, and then she just got kind of serious, and you could tell like, damn, she's like aging. Inside she's aging, but on outside she just looks exactly how she died at the moment, or the moment she got like turned into a vampire.
The moment she turned, and
Yeah.
that's what I think sells it the most is her maturity. Playing that character was just like, okay, she's selling that she's like older than she actually is.
Yeah.
There seems to be, which is I think her name is Claudia in the movie.
Yeah, it's
right?
Claudia. That's
Yeah,
my-
but
that's-
what other, like, I'm looking now back at the cast list, and Stephen Ray played Santiago. Thinking about what other movies he was in.
Hmm.
V for Vendetta. I didn't know that.
Wait, what actor?
Stephen Ray.
Stephen Ray. Sounds familiar.
He's the one that, yeah, he's the one that plays Santiago, the one that does the dance all over like the top of the bridge and stuff like that.
I forgot.
He's like, "You buffoon."
You're buffoon. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while since I saw that movie, but from what I remember, it's like when I watched it, like I watched clips of it when I was like younger, and I didn't understand it. But with watching it, as an adult, I kind of got that implication, like, oh, they're gay,
Yeah.
And in the movie, like, they're trying not to show it. Like in the book, they showed like, yeah, there are a couple and they do shit.
Yeah.
But with this one, they kind of implied it, and then it's like kind of like a family unit, between Lestat, Louis, and Claudia. So it's like,
Right.
yeah. So I kind of seen the dynamic of that, and it's just like, oh, they're all living together, but they're all being like, they're all facing the same angst as
Yeah.
a family, and it's just like interesting to kind of see that shit. And
Well, to me, it was interesting that they pulled back on, like, even though like the source context was the fact that they were gay,
yeah,
they really just pulled back on that because it was the 90s, and like I don't think people were really ready for that. Like I was having a conversation earlier with my friends Martin and Andrew and Kaz, and and Rox, and we were just talking about, like, yeah, dude, like back in the 90s, they weren't ready for this kind of stuff. Like,
yeah,
it was very taboo still.
yeah,
And I just feel like, yeah, like very contradictory to the new Interview with the Vampire series.
yeah. Which I
We'll get to that
watched.
later, but
Yeah, which I watched, and yeah, we'll get into that later. Do you want to go on your top twos?
yeah, man, let's just jump right into it. I just gotta say, overall with this movie, like, I love that it was a long movie, man. I was watching it over a couple days just because I would watch it after work, and just because I really just wanted to focus on it and stuff. And there's just a lot of intricate scenes that tell a lot about the characters and stuff like that. But one of my favorite scenes in it that really caught my eye, and I was just like, dude, that's why he's Tom Cruise. Like, that's why he's a legendary actor, was just
Yeah.
this scene right here. Um uh, Basically it's the scene of Lestat, and you know what?
And to think.
It's the scene of Lestat when he comes back to life,
Oh,
and
okay.
he like basically scares the crap out of me.
It's like
Which
so eerie.
I'm loving the monologue on this.
Yeah.
I love the makeup on it, and just the way that they're shooting it, like through the curtain. It's basically like Lestat at the piano doing this monologue.
Perhaps.
Like he's already seeming like already dead.
And I like how, like, you see the fear in like Brad Pitt's eyes, like this motherfucker, he came back,
Yeah.
you know?
Toads.
He
Because
literally looks
she
like.
planned that out. Claudia had planned out how she was gonna kill him, like,
Of the Mississippi.
and like the makeup just tells the story of what he's been through. You know?
Yeah, you can see the condition he's in. Like he seems
I
like
wonder
he's
if he actually
aged.
learned to play.
That's the thing. He looks like he's aged, and you can really tell that.
He looks like this. He has skin of a toad.
Very.
You know what I'm saying? He's all
Shit,
got
yeah.
dirt in his hair and all kinds of crud.
It makes sense
Like,
because they're like in the fucking bayous, and it's all swampy right there. So
the second scene, I mean, like, overall, that scene was just creepy, and then that's like right after that scene, he starts attacking him,
yeah,
right? So I thought that was pretty crazy, but I try to find so many versions of this in English, but for some reason I could only find it in Spanish. So this is for Spanish cousins in Mexico that's following on this one.
Mexicans love vampires. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
so theatrical.
But I didn't
it's
understand
like-
at first. I didn't understand that these were actually humans they're doing the show for.
Yeah. It's like a little party
But I
that they
think
did.
In the Interview with the Vampire TV series, they explain more about the theater and stuff like that. They, like,
Really?
the kind of the lore and background of it. They didn't speak too much about it in this one, but still, I feel like the whole just the way that they're connected, like all of the vampires are like cult kind of, you know?
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, it's an exclusive thing between them. Kind of like the club scene in Blade. It was just all exclusive.
And this is Stephen Ray here, who's like who's the one that introduced or basically met Brad Pitt
Right.
in the under the bridge, and like did that whole scene when he was a mirror. So like he's already like a dramatic dude as it is.
Yeah.
But it's not until later that you actually find out that his type of vampire has the
Cada
superpowers to read
uno
minds,
deberá inclinar la
right?
cabeza a mis pies.
Yeah.
Pero
Which there's like different types of
si es un
vampires.
mortal quien se aproxima.
Yeah, I guess in this universe, like they really
¿Qué
do play
tenemos
on that.
aquí?
Yeah.
¿Una belleza a mi lado?
And honestly, like,
Botón de
I
rosa
just
y
love the set. Like,
violeta
look at the
timidez.
set, man. Like,
So
this
gothic.
is definitely, you could tell,
Tal
like, the
vez
90s.
acepte ser
They had
mi
them big
novia.
sets,
Tal vez mi
you know,
lección
and,
no ha
like,
concluido
all kinds of
aún.
people working with them.
Yeah.
No quiero morir.
Pero estamos
But let me tell you,
iguales.
you're gonna be a
Siempre
good
fue
actress
así.
because everyone else thinks that this is acting, right?
Yeah.
But then little do they know that they're actually about to witness
Super
like a live murder.
provocative. Yeah, it's like a snuff film. It's snuff
Yeah.
theater.
It's snuff theater, yeah.
That's hilarious. It's like what you're witnessing is actually a cult. You guys don't know it. God damn.
And dude, what is that haircut? The long hair?
The long hair,
So
bro.
creepy, bro.
It is. You never look at
But
people
you
the
know
same
what?
way.
Good on whoever casted Antonio Banderas for that role, bro, because he gave Latinos such a leg up in the acting game after this, I feel like.
Yeah. Wait, will you even consider him Latino? Because he's actually Spaniard.
Well, he's Spanish, and I feel like
Yeah.
him being of like Spanish descent in general just kind of
No padecerás.
gave it. You know, it's like
Yeah.
the dude that plays Hector in all the movies. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know. Which
Like
comes to my other
Hector.
Yeah, which comes to my point. Because they do mention Antonio Banderas, like, in this movie, in the first episode of What We
Yeah.
Do in the Shadows. Like, remember the little Hispanic guy? He's all like, ever since I watched that Antonio Banderas be a vampire, I always wanted to be, like, you know, a Hispanic vampire. And I'm just like, wait, he's Spaniard, but it's, like...
I just love that titty. But yeah.
Like, I'm kind
But
of
yeah,
confused
dude,
by
I
that,
love
too.
that scene when he basically explains like that's the whole reason he wanted to be a vampire. But yeah, you know, like, and I bet a lot of people that are Hispanic or Spaniard or whatever
They're just
see
like,
Antonio
fuck it.
Banderas in that role and they're like, damn, Mexicans and Hispanics and Spaniards can be Dracula too.
They can.
You know, they could pull it off.
We're going to mention a movie that actually does that. A type of
Yeah.
Hispanic vampires. We'll see.
But I mean, yeah, dude, this movie was dope, and then the ending, freaking awesome in San
Yeah.
Francisco, with that badass. It was like I don't know what kind of car it was. It was like let me see what kind of car.
Yeah, what kind of car was it?
Convertible Mustang, I think.
Yeah, I really did like
That
that
he
car.
drives.
Yeah. It's Christian Slater, which fucking he did an awesome job. I actually like him better than the TV series. They have a different actor who is much older than the character that we seen in this movie. But I actually like Christian Slater way better than the other guy. But damn, like if you're talking about 90s, like Christian Slater was the guy right then. But
It's a 1968 Ford Mustang GT Fastback.
oh, nice.
Yeah, so I mean that whole part with Lestat, and he's like, I don't think I need an introduction, and then just like totally puts like a ton of dents in his car when he hits the freaking side of the road. Just, doo, 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 doo. You think after so many years of living, you don't have to drive the car, you know?
You'll be surprised. You know, a lot of people don't know how to drive, and they spent so many years just, you know, living. And they
I
just
guess
never
it's
learn.
not really his fault. He tried to like basically kill the dude, but then at the end, you know, they do that version of Please allow me to introduce myself. I'm a man of wealth and taste.
Sympathy for the devil. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's very on the
but
nose.
it's who is it? It's a cover by
it's Rolling Stones.
Guns N' Roses, I think.
No, oh, it's a cover from. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. But originally it is from Rolling Stones. Great song. Great song.
but yeah, dude, I did not expect that ending. That was really cool. I've never seen that movie before, so I'm glad I was able to like actually sit
Yeah.
down with it and like
I'm glad you enjoyed
watch it
it.
to its entirety.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Let's mention the TV series, cause I watched the first episode last night.
Yeah.
And I thought it was pretty cool for a pilot. They did
You know,
do a
there
lot
was
of
a lot of things
changes.
that I liked about it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
There's some
For
things I
me,
didn't
I
like.
really go ahead.
There's certain things I didn't like about it, but certain things that were made sense. Because
Hmm.
I think in the book, Louis, is he white in the book? I believe he is, but I guess they race swapped it, which makes sense. And my sister, my younger sister, she actually watched the series,
Hmm.
and she was explaining it to me like before I even watched the show, and she told me like, oh yeah, it makes sense that he's like black. Well, I think he's technically like half black, but for
Hmm.
someone to like um to be of that race and to be living in like Louisiana, that makes sense
Yeah.
because it's like, oh,
Yeah.
you're showing the culture of that time and period, and it makes sense. And like he's more different because he has privileges there,
Hmm.
considering that he's like more upper class, which I actually believe, you know,
Hmm.
and it shows a lot of like, I don't know, a lot of cultural significance. You know what I mean? And it just
Hmm.
makes sense that they went in that route. And I was just like, oh, okay. But I would say what I didn't like about it is like I did the writing was a little weird. Like I like the way like certain people talk in a way that it was like at that
Hmm.
time period. But then all of a sudden they start talking modern. Like
Yeah.
there's a part where because Louis is a pimp when he's like
Yeah.
as a human, and he goes in into intervene into like an issue that was happening between a John and like a prostitute, and the prostitute just starts talking like, oh, I was gonna cut off his dick and this and that, and I'm just like, what the fuck, like where's the colorful language now? And then and then it's just
Yeah.
like, bro, like it's just talking like that, like what the fuck, like I don't know. And then
No. No. No.
you hear Louis just talking very elegantly and just very of the time period, and then you just hear her just saying like all this shit, like motherfucker, just get cut off his motherfucking dick, and he's like, look, I'm not gonna look at his dick, and then he just like, oh shit, what the fuck did you do to his dick? And
Yeah.
and then
No, what it was she was like, "He tried to stick it in my bunghole," or something like
no,
that.
she started
He's
taking
like,
my stink hole.
There's a proof." Yeah.
And I'm just like,
She
what?
said
Like,
stinkhole.
she said stinkhole or like
Yeah.
shithole. She said shithole. And I'm
Uh
just
huh.
like, what? Like, the fuck? And then, like, I don't know. And then that whole part where, like, he goes out with his brother goes, where he works at and trying to be, like, the preacher of the choir and shit.
Uh huh.
And then he, pretty much, like, they get into it. And at one point, if you hear, he calls it bruh. He's like, you want to just go home, bruh. And I'm just like, what the
Just
fuck?
go home, bro.
Just go home,
Bro.
bro. I was like,
Yeah.
that's very modern. Like, what? What's
Yeah.
going on? Like, I thought this was a time
Okay. Yeah.
period.
No, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Now that kind of threw me off too, because like during that segment, I think I had walked away real quick, and I
Yeah.
came back, and then it was that scene, and that girl, that prostitute or whatever, was like talking like that, and I was like, "What the? Like, what show is this? I don't, I don't remember putting this on."
I was
And then
like,
it showed
oh shit.
Louis, and then it cuts to Louis, and I was like, "Oh, I guess it's the same show."
Yeah.
That kind of threw me off a little
It threw me
bit.
off too.
But I gotta say, as far as them going back to that time period, the environment and the set definitely sells it.
Yeah, it
You
does.
know?
They did a good job on that. Just like the little things like having like a guy that, goes around and lights up the
Hmm.
lamps at the street lights. Like that was
Yeah.
very like detailed in a way that's just like, oh, you don't really see that. It was like, oh, that was a job. And the guy
Also,
just
like
gets that kill.
the docks, how the docks were, it looked very like early on.
Mhm.
It didn't look developed at all. Like it was still in the process of developing the docks.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really cool that you're able to see all of that. It reminded me of Saint Denis from Red Dead Redemption 2, like
Yeah.
that kind of area, right?
I mean, yeah, that's what it's based on. Saint Denis is like
Yeah,
basically New Orleans.
yeah.
That's what it is. But it makes sense. Like the environment was cool. I do like the characters. I'm not really 100% sold on like Lestat, the guy that plays Lestat.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like I don't know what it is. It's not like enough gravitas or enough like uh I don't
He's
know.
not
It's
charming enough to be Lestat.
yeah, I think so. There's
I think for
something
me
I
that's
think.
what it was. Like he was like I couldn't believe like he'd be that character.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I wasn't like 100% sold that he was being charming, but he wasn't like. There was something missing. Which,
He
by the
wasn't being
way,
Tom Cruise charming as he was Lestat.
yeah, I think.
You
Yeah,
know,
I think it's a different type of charm that just wasn't pulling through, if anything. But with
it was a
Louis,
very homosexual charm.
it was like very creepy. Indicate, hey man,
Yeah,
I wanna put this in your shithole, in your.
but but no, I mean like in the end, like when you think about it, um, Tom Cruise he had a very like gay vibe too,
Yeah,
and he was kind of showing that throughout. But like it obviously never just put it in front of your face and said like, hey,
yeah.
they're gay by the way, you know. But
With
like
this one, they don't pull
the way how
punches.
he was with Claudia and like how he would be like, "Oh, I made you," and like stuff like that. And then, but this one, it was very graphic and it wanted to show you that they meant when they said gay, they meant it.
Yeah, and I like
And on
how.
the pilot scene,
Yeah, and I like
good.
how like when he was like getting into it, it was because it was starting off at like a threesome. This was kind of like refusing, like kind of like yeah, he was pretty much like refusing him. Like it's like no,
Mm-hmm.
like I just want to go with the chick, and he's like no.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the chick fell asleep, then they got into it, and he's just like oh,
Mm-hmm.
it was pretty subtle. It wasn't like right away, like full on
And
gay.
that scene was like very long, bro.
Yeah.
It was like that whole scene was
I
like
think
unnecessarily long for me.
I think
You
they were
know,
just
it's like
trying to like get there with intention, like, oh, they're gonna show that they're gonna actually be gay, and it's just like
yeah,
the tension between like because Louis did say like, oh, I didn't like I was a straight man, like I didn't expect to be like this gay man that got attracted to him, but every way that the way that he was describing it is like every way that I met with this guy, like he was just like pulling me through, and that's what I like about this. Like it was very descriptive, the way that he
yeah.
experienced things. The way that he
Mm-hmm.
pulled him into like his
It was
essence and
like a
stuff.
book.
Exactly. It
Yeah.
was in a way that was just like I think the book readers will like appreciate that stuff because I think that's what was lacking in like the movie version, but they
Mhm.
couldn't put it in the movie version because like of the times.
I mean, they had the whole idea of it. I feel was taken from that movie because it was
Yeah.
like Brad Pitt's narration over segments of it.
Hmm.
And one thing I didn't mention about that was like the interplay between when Santiago finds out that he could read minds is when Brad Pitt is narrating a portion of the story saying like I feel bad for what we did to Lestat. And then
Yeah.
Santiago's character cuts him off. The narration cuts off from the movie and it just cuts to Santiago saying, "What do you feel bad for?" So it's like in that instance you see
Yeah.
that Santiago is reading his mind, and that's something that he actually Brad Pitt's character warns Claudia of before they walk in. Just be like, make sure like you're watching over because some of these vampires can read your thoughts, And he kind of let his guard down while he was exiting, and then that's how they actually found out about Lestat because Santiago read his mind.
Yeah. That was very cleverly played. Just the fact that you cut
Yeah,
off like
I love how they
narration.
did that,
Yeah, that was really good.
but in this one it was like but it was just out there with the gayness, bro. Like they were
Hmm.
really out there. Like there was literally a scene of like the dude and the other dude with his dick in his butt just like in the air like that, and I was just like, okay, bro, like we get
Yeah,
it.
we get it.
Like we get it.
Yeah.
But I mean it, I don't know, even if it was a heterosexual scene, whatever, what if it was a whatever
There's a
freaking
fantastic. That's a fantastical element to it.
it was a there was a fantastical element to it, but I don't know. It was just like that was like literally 1/3 of the. It was like the final act of that episode was just like 1/3 of the whole show right there. It
That
was just
was.
like
I think that
softcore
was the
porn.
middle of it. I think that was the middle of the
Yeah,
episode.
I don't know, but it seemed like very long for what it was, and it was just
I
like
guess.
literally. But like there was other instances here and there of like
Yeah.
really sexual stuff. But I guess like when you talk about vampires and you start getting into vampire lore, sexuality is like its own thing within that within that space of vampires. It's
Yeah,
like
is that
sexuality is part of it.
no? It's definitely that, and also like for some reason, I think there's definitely a strong reason, but vampires seems to be like a gateway to like the LGBT community
Right.
in the ways that it's this kind of taboo of being like a vampire, but also like um being out there with your sexuality. And then a lot of
Hmm.
vampires, like you see, like they're not afraid, like they could do whatever the fuck they want. They have like an eternity to live on, and it's like you might as well just fuck, like in the same way, like they have that lust for blood. They have the same lust for like for uh
For the flesh.
carnal desire, I would say.
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
but yeah, that's one of the things I noticed about vampire movies is like their bloodlust equals to their sexuality in a way.
Hmm. Yeah. And
Yeah.
depending on where they get their blood from can change them.
Yeah,
You
one
know.
of the things from the movie it was a it was kind of a nice touch is that they don't just drink like vampire human blood, but they could also like drink animal blood as substitute,
Yes.
but it's not as good as like humans.
Which I feel they used in what I'm gonna use later in my sip on this.
Yeah, we'll
It's a
definitely get
video
on
game, but and
that.
I'll talk about it later.
All right,
But
for
yeah,
sure.
but definitely like the whole portion of them, like when he tells Claudia, like, "Oh yeah, Lestat," he's like, "Louis used to eat rats," and then Claudia goes, "Used to eat rats," and then he was like, "Yes, but that was very long ago, right?" And like just like the way he said it was like you're disgusting kind of way.
Yeah, it's
And
like
all he would
really.
feed on was like politicians. He's like in the beginning he says like he loved the blood of like politicians and like people that were like,
Full of
you know,
shit.
of higher class, you
Higher
know?
class,
So
yeah.
I mean you see like Lestat's
I never
character
realized
kind of
that.
like that
Yeah.
higher class kind of vibe when he's getting the blood from those higher class people. And then when he turns into when he gets thrown in the swamp, he becomes like a swamp monster and shit like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a
And
good
in this one,
mention.
I don't know,
Very
like
mental.
it's like in the Amazon Prime series, it's very fantastical, but I'm not seeing them go really hard on the makeup. What do you
Yeah.
think?
I only seen the first episode, and I
Hmm.
didn't really see too much of the makeup because this is the first
Hmm.
episode, so I didn't get to see like him as whatever form we saw him in the movie. But it's just the only thing I seen is like CGI, and it's okay. Especially that part
Yeah.
where like he like punches that guy to the fucking face. I was like, oh damn, that was fucking gory as fuck. And I was like, whatever. It's
I
just like
mean,
standard CGI. I was like, whatever. Like,
I would think like I don't know. I'm thinking about watching the rest of the series because I'm
me
interested in
too.
like
Yeah.
them talking about the lore of the theater. Because there's a
Yeah.
whole, I think the second episode is about the theater and stuff like that and how they got it and everything, and they actually talk about it.
Yeah.
I was watching
That's
some YouTube video because I was trying to look for the top twos, but I ended up clicking on a video that talks about the lore of how they got the theater,
hmm
and I guess like Lestat actually bought it at some point because he was bitten by some dude named Margot or something like that,
yeah.
and he killed himself in a fire and gave everything to Lestat,
Oh
and
shit.
with that Lestat bought the theater.
Oh,
And that's
that's
yeah.
how I
So that I
became
mean that,
rich.
but that's what I heard in the video. I don't know how accurate that is, but I'm feeling like in the interview with the Vampire Show that they're gonna go more into that whole theater, and that's gonna be a big portion of it. You
Yeah.
know.
I mean, this episode kind of sold me on like watching the rest of the series. I don't know how the
Hmm.
rest of the series is, but um, I don't know. I heard some good things, some bad things, so I'm really gonna judge it for myself. I'll watch it if anything. I don't really have
Yeah.
anything to watch right now, but yeah, definitely.
AMC. AMC.
AMC.
Right.
Yep,
AMC
definitely.
Plus. Beer check. How you doing?
Uh, I like this. I was noticing like the bottom of this looks kind of like an
Yeah.
orange peel.
Yeah.
Fuck, I can't really see it. Yeah, it looks like an orange peel. Just like, but
Um.
I'm I really liking it. It's like it's not getting better, but it's like very sippable and just like very fresh. Like I could keep
It's
drinking
sippable.
this.
It's blood orange, but I'm also getting some like peach notes as well. I don't know if that's just rubbing off on me from the beer that I had earlier.
Maybe it's you.
Yeah,
I think
but I
it's
had
you.
one that was similar. It was a blonde. Um, it was a blonde, but it had like very Hefeweizen kind of flavors.
Yeah, that's probably where
But
you're
this
getting the
is yeah, this
Hefeweizen
blood orange is delicious, man. This is good.
for sure. Uh, should I go with Dracula real quick?
Yeah, you wanted to do a segment on it. Like he changed his
Yeah,
background for it.
for sure. So I like this movie. I watch it like every year, and even if I'm like it's not Halloween, I kind of like feel like watching it. It's just like, oh, I'm in the mood of watching this movie. I don't know what it is, but I mean, no, I know what it is.
Where can you watch it right now?
It's right now. You could watch it like on. Oh fuck! I forgot where I watched it last.
Let me see.
I
Just
think
keep
I
talking.
rented
I'm
it.
gonna look it up.
I think I rented it last time. I think that's where I got it.
Mhm.
But I was watching it from like Amazon Prime, and this is a '92 version of the movie with Gary Oldman, Winona Ryder, Keanu Reeves not acting at his best, I would say. But this movie is more accurate to the book than it is like from all the Draculas that had come out before. Cause the one in 1931, that's like the cupboard version of it, like the cookie cutter version of it. That's very friendly and just very like people weren't ready for the details of this film and the sexuality and all the fucking gothic elements that comes with this movie. Cause it came out in the 90s, just like Interview with a Vampire, and it's just very like it got the gothic portion really, really right. And
Mhm.
this was directed by none other than Francis Ford Coppola, who did the Godfather movies. And
Yeah.
this is right after like Apocalypse Now. Well, Apocalypse Now came out like late 70s. So this is like like more than a decade later, and I don't know. It seems like he wasn't like the same filmmaker that he was like doing those movies, and then when he came to this movie, I think there was a lot of misunderstanding with him, and there was a lot of problems with the production itself, especially with Francis having to fight over with like Gary Oldman, because they couldn't agree on certain things, and you could actually see things online where they're actually arguing and they just like going back and forth and just like I can't like blah blah blah. I don't know what the issue was specifically, but it just seems like he couldn't get the idea down of what he was trying to pull off. But the movie worked because Gary Oldman made his own Dracula in a way that was like very iconic. Because you kind of see like, let me get out of the way. Like his hairstyle is very different than the one that's like from the original one, and it's like
He
kind
has
of like
boobs on his head.
yeah, it's like boobies, but it's like a very iconic like hairstyle that you never thought
Yeah.
it would be, and he looks like an old man. Like he put old man into the old man, and
Yeah.
yeah, like he really bought into his own, and he's just like fuck. Like I think this like Gary Oldman's like his top best film in his whole like series of history of like, or his whole filmography basically. But this movie like really pulls off like a lot of punches. They really go out there with certain things, and it's just very artistically made. Like the production design, the fucking art style, just like certain choices, just like really makes this movie. And it's just like very freaking gothic. And Winona Ryder, damn, like she was fitted for this role. Like I really did feel like it. With Keanu Reeves, it was just like the acting wasn't there, but like you could get past that because he's only there like in the first section of the film, which by the way, like I really like because it was very accurate to the book because he was like on his way to traveling to Dracula's castle. Like he wrote it as a diary, and in the book, like it's written as like first person view, as if that character was like writing into his journal and stuff. So it really like brought forth like that spirit of the novel that I don't think like any other movies based on Dracula has ever done. And it's just like, oh damn, like it's crazy. Like like I don't know. I could keep going on with the movies and tell you about it, but let me show you like one of the scenes, man, if you could.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. This movie aged well.
I've never seen this. No.
So that's Van Helsing. That's played by Anthony Hopkins.
Oh yeah.
Right after like him being the Hannibal Lecter. Like that it's full makeup effect, bro. In the 90s. So just like the lighting itself and the makeup effect. Yeah. Just like Omen just being in that.
It almost reminds me of like an orc from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Exactly. It's just like going on that level. Especially with the eyes. They got the eyes right.
Well, it's cool because he's like a bat. He literally
Yeah.
looks like a bat person. Dude, the eyes look sick.
And it's just like, oh god, this is crazy. And then he just turns into a bunch of rats. You know, got the ads.
Mr. John Wick himself, huh?
Yeah. Oh, I thought I got the other clips.
How far after Bill and Ted's Adventure this was?
Yeah. Bro, so basically, like... could we even show that? Whatever. Anyways. They're racing back to Dracula's castle. But I like this because, like, it's, like, a lot of tension. And, oh, not to mention, they actually have a good use of miniatures in this film. Yeah, so it's a combination of miniatures and, like, practical effects.
Like a witch or something?
She's trying to reverse this, like, I don't know. I forgot about this part. But basically her character, Mina, she's actually like a reincarnation of like Dracula's like his wife or his lover.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but she like killed herself, and in vain he actually like was mad at everyone, and he even renounced God. And by renouncing God, he just became like this cursed being. And when he died, he just resurrected as a vampire. I don't know. I'm probably like messing all that up, but it was something in between that. But yeah, that's all miniatures in the background. Yeah, and it's like a live set. But just cutting with that, and it's just like the sun going down, it's just like a race against time. Because it's trying to get Dracula before sunset. Cause
You know what? That's another thing about, you know,
yeah,
monster movies that really makes it cool is because time is a factor because of sunlight, you know?
yeah.
Especially
Well,
with
especially
vampire
vampires,
movies,
yeah.
like that's the biggest thing. Like I mean,
crazy.
in Interview with the Vampire, that's literally how they kill Claudia and the lady that's taking care of her is with sunlight.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
So
it
you
does.
just, like,
It's
see them both.
interesting. It's interesting because it's an advantage and a disadvantage.
Right.
You know? And by that time, like, time is a factor, and it's like, oh, it seems like it's already too late.
Oh, the slitting
Shit,
of
dude.
the throat, bro. Jesus. There he goes. Oh my goodness.
And they're just trying to kill him. Alright, you can pause.
Didn't even... I want to see this now.
Yeah, but we don't want to spoil it for people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He doesn't die like that. You'll see.
Jeez, man. I gotta watch this from the beginning now. That's
Bro.
a good one.
It was like, it's fucking crazy. Even in the beginning, it's just like so, like it shows the origin stories, and then of course, like I told you, she's Winona Ryder is like the incarnation of his wife, so you get to see her as like her ancestor. But you also, I didn't notice this until like multiple watches, but there's a priest in the intro. And it took me a long time to realize that's like Anthony Hopkins, and and he's the ancestor of like Van Helsing. So he's playing his ancestor, and he's playing Van Helsing in the movie. And I gotta say, bro, like Anthony Hopkins, that's like Van Helsing, is kind of like a little bit. It's a delight because he's sort of like this guy that's sort of like how would I describe it? He's a little bit unhinged. No, not unhinged.
Yeah.
But he's like not really aware of like certain things, where he just comes off as like being a very intense guy, and it comes off as funny. Like he just
Yeah.
says like, oh, what are you gonna do, my friend? I was like, oh, nothing to worry about. I'm just gonna like put a stick to her heart and cut off her head. And he's just like, what? And he's not being aware, like, I gotta kill this bitch. Like, there's
Yeah.
nothing to it, and he doesn't take it seriously. But it's an interesting take on Van Helsing, the character itself. But yeah, like, I strongly recommend watching this movie. It's fucking. Besides, like,
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves' acting, but you get past it anyways. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I got, man.
Well, shit. Man, you sold me. Trust me, you sold me
Yeah.
with the background and everything. I gotta say, but you say that's Gary Oldman as Dracula?
Yeah.
Cause it doesn't even look like him, bro.
No. That's
It doesn't look
crazy.
like even in all the
There's-
forms, it never even looks like him once.
There's one part where he's in like his human form, and he's like very genuinely, and it's like, oh, okay, that's Gary Oldman. That's like for real Gary
Yeah.
Oldman. There's only like one part you get to see him, and he plays
Oh,
different.
really?
Yeah, he plays different forms of that character.
That's
like-
fucking awesome.
Yeah,
Like,
he plays a werewolf. He turns into a werewolf after he gets out of
What?
the Dementor. Yeah, bro.
wait, so Draculas can turn into werewolves in this version?
I was confused, and then I was like, wait, that's him. I was like, wait, why can he turn into a werewolf? There's probably something I don't understand that's in the book. That's
He's
just
a
like,
shape. He's probably a shapeshifter, bro.
yeah, he is a shapeshifter.
Yeah. Well, then there you go.
Yeah, and then of course there's
Shifting all kinds of shapes. You know? Fuck that. Can't do that. Like, that's a whole thing in Native American. We talked about that in when we did our Reservation Dogs episode.
oh yeah, the lady that could turn into,
Yeah.
yeah, that's creepy.
Yeah, fuck all that. But Dracula, Bram Stoker's Dracula. Who directed this one?
I told you, Francis Ford Coppola.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Fucking the Godfather man himself.
The Godfather man himself. He still got it. He's made his this new movie, Megalopolis, and it's definitely not a boring movie. I would say that. He's got an
I
eye
wanna
for
go see
things.
that one. I
Yeah.
think we're ready for the next beer, I think.
Yeah, let's go for the next beer, man.
We got the second beer here from Drekker Brewing Company. It's called Fangs Out.
Fangs out.
It's got some like nice graffiti style artwork on the outside. Very neon Halloween decoration colors.
I like how they tell you the malts and the hops and the yeast.
Yeah,
that it has
I
right
always
there.
appreciate the most.
I like that detail.
Any way that you could put more information on the beer, I respect that.
Yeah. That's
Pale
what catches my
two-row
eye.
flaked oats, carafoam spelt for malt.
I like the
and then
artwork
hops.
on this. It's like very Muppety type of.
Yeah, it reminds me of almost like the Dracula from Sesame Street, right? A little more cracked out, just cracked out.
He looks like a combination of Grover and fucking the Count.
Yeah.
It,
And
it
then
was
that
as if like
spooky-
Grover
there's, like,
was
a
the Count.
spooky, ghost in the background. That's cool.
Yeah.
Got some wicked candles and stuff. Definitely a Halloween beer. They were ready to sell this one. This is an IPA straight up, huh?
Yep. This is an IPA. It is. I don't know.
Jingle.
I don't know the percentage of this beer.
I'm looking for it.
Yeah, it's not there. I think we should check online.
6.7.
What? Really? It says right there.
6.7. It says right next to where it says contents 1 pint, there's a little like tulip glass that says 6.7. It's all really tiny.
No one, I couldn't see it.
Yeah, it's a 6.7. Let's see the color on this.
Wait, where does it say that?
On the back where it says where the barcode is.
Yeah.
Like, do you see that little glass?
Oh, I
It's
see it.
inside the
Yeah, I see it.
glass.
Okay, yeah, it's right there.
Very tiny, but it's
Very
there.
tiny. It's like, goddamn, like he's trying to sneak that shit in there. Yeah, it's right there. Right there.
Rings out. I really like the can artwork. It's cool.
That's it. That's it. Yeah.
Well, cheers to the craft.
Cheers. All right, I'm gonna pour this. It looks light, actually. I'm pretty sure it's not gonna feel light.
Whoa. Those malts are coming at me sideways.
That sounded so wrong. I should drink some out. It's it's definitely an IPA, but it's like I don't know. I think it's the mosaic that's like pretty strong on this
Mhm.
one. You know what I mean?
The mosaic's strong, but I'm thinking like honestly, like a lot of the flavor that I think we're getting through that is the malts. Like we've tried Centennial, Citra Mosaic, and Galaxy. Like you get a lot of those with a lot of like Sierra Nevada.
I'm getting
Um,
I'm getting the bit of like Citra, but it's like I said before, I'm getting like the mosaics. I don't know what it is, but
I
it's
think I
also
need to
like
start learning more about
yeast.
malts, man, because malts in
Malts
its
is
own
like a little
right
bit,
give it its.
yeah. Malts is like a little bit more bitterness to it.
Hmm.
I think my favorite beer that it's like very malty is Red Seal from North Coast,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's like a red ale ish type of beer, and definitely like the malts are like strong with that one, and it's like very refreshing and just um very high key on those notes with the malts. But yeah, with
I
this
just got
one,
some info from ChatGPT about malts. So let's take a look at what the AI has to say. It says
let's see what
malts
the
play a
AI
crucial
has to say.
role in shaping the flavor, color, and body of craft beer. Here's how malts affect various aspects of beer. One, flavor, sweetness, richness. Malts are primary source of fermentable sugars in beer, which yeast later converts into alcohol. The residual sugars that remain after fermentation contribute to its beer's sweetness. Malt can add flavors like caramel, toffee, biscuit, chocolate, or coffee, depending on the type of roast. So for me, I mean, just comparing those flavors, I'm kind of getting like almost like a coffee chocolatey, right?
Yeah,
How are you doing that? That's cool.
I know. I just found out how to do this.
Awesome. What else does it say? Complexity. Darker malts such as roasted or caramel malts introduce richer, more complex flavors. Lighter malts lend a more delicate sweetness with notes of honey or bread. I definitely
Hmm.
get like a honey, like biscuity kind of flavor. What do you think? But yeah, I'm guessing depending on how you roast the malt, it's gonna give it a darker or a lighter flavor, just like coffee, right? Body and
There's.
mouth feel.
I feel the malt at the aftertaste of it. Now that I'm thinking about it,
Yeah.
and I think like in the
This
forefront, in between like the forefront and the aftertaste, I feel like that's where I taste most some of the yeast coming in. This is like very interesting in terms of
yeah.
like the taste profiles that different taste profiles that we're getting.
Yeah, it's because it's
It's
almost
weird.
like it's a tropical style, but then it comes like we're talking about. It's giving like a honey biscuity kind of flavor.
I'm not getting that,
Um,
but yeah.
yeah, I'm getting like a honey kind of flavor, you know? Like right in the middle of it, right before the end,
I think
because
that
when you
might
get
be
that spike of the acidity,
I think that might be the yeast.
right?
Yeah, I think that might be the yeast, and then I don't know. It's
The
interesting.
amount of type of
I
malt
think it's
determines
just
how much
like
sugar is available for fermentation.
honestly, I think it's like with all the ingredients that it has, I think it's
Hmm.
combining like a very interesting taste. And you're saying like, oh yeah, I'm getting like honey, or we're getting like, oh yeah, we're getting that sweetness, that maltiness
Hmm.
that's just like in between the taste.
It's also
It's
describing
interesting.
that just like the consistency of the beer itself, like the fullness, it could give it more body. And a higher malt content in beers like stouts have like a heavier, more substantial, they call it the mouth feel. Oh, you got little bits in there?
Yeah, I got bits everywhere, man.
You got bits. We got some bitty beers.
We got some, yeah,
Honestly, but I feel
bitty.
like this is what it when you get a canned beer from the store and it's like a hazy, I'm always finding when I pour it out, I'm always finding stuff like that towards the bottom of it, right?
Yeah, but this was just like all over. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, this is what we got so far.
I mean, if you smell it, it smells kind of like pineapple,
Hmm.
you know? But it doesn't taste like pineapple. Like I said, it kind of has weird, like chocolatey, almost like coffee kind of flavor. But it says malt sweetness balances the bitterness from the hops
I'm
in many
getting
styles like
citrusy.
IPAs.
Yeah.
The hop bitterness in the star is the star,
Excuse me.
but the malt sweetness ensures the beer is balanced and drinkable. Some beers, like barley wines or bocks, are malt forward, showcasing the malt's richness more than hop bitterness. So that's what I feel this beer is about. There's less hop bitterness and there's more sweetness like a barley wine. It's very like wine to me. It's closer to wine than it is an IPA, like what you would regularly think of as
Yeah.
an IPA.
Yeah, because what you think about IPAs, it's just strong and just very like a lot of their ingredients come off in the forefront, but this one's just like it's interesting as you're like tasting it because there's like
It's just sour, bro.
the forefront, and then in between the middle, and then it's just like the aftertaste.
It I don't know, it reminds
Man
me
is having
kind
a
of
journey.
like almost like a seltzer, bro.
No, I'm not getting
Like it's
that at
seltzery in a
all.
in a way of like the sweetness of it, you know?
Yeah, this it's definitely like very citrusy. I'm getting that a lot.
But I don't know. I want to see how the flavor changes.
Yeah, as we go along with
Let's keep
this.
on pushing.
Let's push to the
We got
front.
Salem's Lot to cover now.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
ready. I'm ready to talk about this one
All right.
because this is the one that I tell you. This is like a 3 hour thing,
The
and what
original
I
one. Yeah. So the
yeah
original
what I
one.
f-
Uh,
go ahead.
the original one. What year did it came out?
1979.
Oof. Okay. So this is the version that you watch.
Yeah.
Okay. So how was that experience?
So I watched it over a couple of days, but I think over the course of time, like when I looked at it earlier, it said that it was a mini TV series. So
Mm.
remember how I told you when I was watching it, it looked like it was like cut like a TV series. Like it was cut like it was like dun, dun,
You didn't
dun,
tell me
and
that.
then it would like cut and it would continue and I was like, what the fuck? That's kind of weird. Like it's like a TV like it was made for like ads to be put in between, you know?
Okay. That's the first time I'm hearing of this.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's when I watched it, that's what I realized. It was like edited in a way that it was cut like a TV show where it's like something big happened and then it would like, okay, commercial break or whatever, right?
Right.
And it's funny because at the time I had the Hulu with ads or whatever, or the HBO with ads. So like when
Yeah.
those happened, there an
They cut in
actual ad
between
would
the
play
ads.
in
It's just like,
between,
oh, that
you
makes
know.
so
So
much sense.
I was like, what the fuck? I was like, this is kind of like what's going on, you know? But yeah, like it makes more sense now that I think of it if it was made like a mini series like that. So this was a Stephen King book that was converted into this, I guess, mini TV series in 1979. Ben Mears was David Soul, Richard Straker was James Mason, Kurt Barlow, Reggie Naylor. There are a bunch of like no, there's like a lot of no name actors. I'm not gonna lie. There's like a lot of these people I haven't really looked at, but 1979 is just like a wild time,
It was.
Um,
That was same year. That was the same year the first Halloween movie came out.
and it was weird, man, because they used a lot of all they had was practical effects.
Right.
So it's like you knew the intention was there to be creepy, but then in some parts it was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what is this? It was kind of creepy in its own right, but the effects were just not there at the time.
Right.
And like comparing it to the new one, it's like all the effects were there that they could go so hard on what they wanted to do on this one. But with this one, I feel a lot of the set design, a lot of the environment that you see is very old school and like is closer to what you would think of as like a haunted house. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
ultimately that's what it is. It's like a haunted house kind of deal. You know, we should have a secret word, bro, like in Pee Wee Herman, and then whenever we say the secret word, we take a drink.
Fellatio.
Oh man,
I just thought about fucking Eyes Wide
you just
Shut.
thought about fucking, huh?
I was shut, and it's just like, oh, think about a secret password. Oh yeah, fellatio. All right.
You know, I get it. It's a vampire episode, but we don't have to go that far into suck. All right,
Yeah, we're sticking to one sucker, not the whole other suckers.
this guy, you just changed the whole tone of this podcast by saying that. I hope you know that, you crazy fuck.
Hey,
Okay,
it's all about
so
sucking your soul.
so for me, it was like it was a weird time because like everybody had these bowl haircuts, like the 1960s, 70s haircuts, and it was just like the cars were cool, very old school. But I'm just gonna get into the top two here. So basically, they find out one of the kids in the neighborhood like gets a disease, and he gets sick, and they take him to the hospital, and he dies, right?
Oh my
So he
god.
dies, and then they have a funeral for him and everything. And then one of the lackeys, just like one of the guys in the town that just like does whatever, like
Like
any
it's,
job,
yeah.
he's digging up the grave. So
Okay.
he's digging up the grave. He's just about to dig it back up after everyone leaves. Okay, so this is what his experience is. It's like, see, but you see
That
how
was
it cuts
very
away
TV.
like
That
that?
was very TV movie like.
Right,
Bro,
right.
that was
So
very TV movie like.
that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
I see what you're saying now. Okay, so the movie version of this did not play out that way. The
Yeah,
way that they did it was that it was at nighttime, and this is actually played by uh you have the list of like the actors are in it, right? The
yeah. In
2024
the
version.
which version?
2024 version.
The one that plays Ben Myers,
Yeah.
Lewis Pullman.
No. Go on the bottom. Bill
Uh, Kurt Barlow.
no. God damn, what's his name? He has like three names. He has a first name, a middle name, and a
Uh,
that actor. I remember him from
Spencer
Unbreakable.
Treat Clark.
Yes, that actor. He played that guy. No,
Mike
no, 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 no,
Ryerson.
no. Wait, that wasn't that guy. Sorry.
Or
Um,
Jordan Preston Carter.
no, I'm
There's
forgetting.
like three. There's
Yeah, I
like
know.
three actors here
There's
that
three
like
actors that
have
have.
their middle name in.
That's funny. I like that. Do I? I don't know. Because we both
I
have
don't know.
three
It's
names.
like all adding it.
Anyways,
But what's your point about it?
that version of that movie, it didn't play out that way. That was actually pretty interesting because, one, it was at nighttime. The movie version was at nighttime, and he was waiting until nighttime for him to like dig up like the grave because they just had the funeral beforehand, and the way that they played it was like he was hearing something and he was just like hallucinating, like what the fuck, and he hears like a kid's voice, and he realizes like it's inside the coffin, so he goes there, and then he's just like, no, like it can't be, and he opens the coffin, and the little kid is just like dead, and I was just like, nah. So he's just like,
Yeah.
pushes
He's like
back.
knocking on it.
Yeah, and then he just like goes back, and then he hears it again. And he's just like, "Okay, I'm coming," and it's just like someone's asking for help, and they're just like, "Oh, like what the fuck is going on?" And then ultimately, like I think it's off screen where he just like gets killed, and
Yeah.
it's just like very unsuspenseful. But I don't know, this movie, like the new version, has so much potential that I just like it was there, but it just wasn't
Yeah, I
like
mean, I don't
all
know.
the
In a
way
way, I feel like they were trying to stay kind of like close to the original, like what this was, you know,
material.
because
Yeah.
like for like what I'm about the second scene that I'm gonna show you. Um, I think I watched like scariest TV or scariest movies on TV or something. You know how they would always do that shit on VH1, where they would like
Oh
talk about
yeah. The top list.
scariest top
Yeah.
top scary scenes or whatever. And this was one of them. And to me, I was like, "What the fuck? That's so weird." Like, it doesn't even. It's not. It doesn't even look that scary. But like, I could see back in the days when there wasn't that many effects. Like, this was like scared the shit out of people or
Yeah.
scared the shit out of kids. So here we go. So it's like the young kid Ben Myers sleeping in his bed, and I mean his whole story is he's like very into monsters and magic and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
he kind of knows the lore of vampires. So it's him like sleeping at the bed, and then all of his ties.
Traumatized by that shit. Yeah. So yeah, the 24 version was like they race swapped with that one, and
Yeah,
I actually liked the kid on that one. He was cool. He was like very. He was very much like a character that was like he beat to his own drum type of guy, and whoever like he told about this vampire stuff, like he wouldn't believe him, and then he just like took
hmm
action.
one of my favorite scenes from that movie, from the new version. Oh well, I guess we'll switch to the new version,
Yeah,
or
let's go to the new
should
version.
I finish my thoughts on the older version?
Finish your thoughts on the old one.
Well, for the old version, for me, it was just like it was very early on. Obviously, vampire lore was already a thing, but this was like almost a guide for I feel like future vampire movies to follow. Like
Sure.
this, this was one of the first original vampire things that was out that was like to the point of like brought religion in and stuff like that. And
Mm,
I don't know,
yeah.
man. It was over 3 hours. It was like 3 hours, all of it. So I
Right.
was watching it over periods of time, and when I first asked Sergio, it's funny because he was like, "Oh yeah, I watched Salem's Lot," and I was like,
Yeah, there
"Dude,
was a
yeah, it's so long,
misunderstanding.
right?" And he's like, "What are you talking about, dude? It's 2 hours." And he like in his head, he's thinking about the new one, but I was talking about the old one, the one that I watched, the 1979 version, and it is like 3 hours long.
Yeah.
So I
I
was
was
just
like,
like,
bro,
okay,
like, what are you talking about? And I was like, your attention span is just getting worse. It's just like, no. I was watching 3 hours of a film. I was like, oh, you watched the old one. Never mind.
yeah,
It was just the
yeah,
timing of
but
it because, like, you say Salem's Lot, you think it's a new one because the new one just came out, like, that week, you know?
yeah,
And honestly, I was kind of interested. I was really interested in that movie when it came out, like when HBO announced it, and I was just like, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna watch this." And then like halfway in, no, not even halfway in, just like 10 minutes in, like I
hmm
knew this movie was ass. I was just like, "Nah, bro, I'm not. I don't. This movie's not good." But there are some good visuals on that movie that I was just like,
oh yeah.
"Yeah,
Oh, let me just play one more scene real quick
for sure."
because I just want to just compare like how the mansion looks in this version to the old version. So,
Okay, it was for
because to me, I really like like in the 1979 version, I liked the way the house looked. It looked very much like a haunted house, you
right.
know. So here we go.
Got oh damn, dude.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean
that's
the
good.
2024 version I really liked like the ending part. I mean if you haven't seen it, spoiler alerts,
Spoilers.
but
I like this. I like
I
this
really
detail
I
too.
really liked that whole part where it was like the boy was like underneath the screen of the movie theater
Yeah,
and then above was like a whole other thing happening. I thought that was really cool.
yeah. Well, what I like, I don't know if they have it in the old version that the trunks of every car that was in that movie, that drive-in, they served
Mhm.
as coffins, and I was like, damn, I never thought about that. You know?
Dude, honestly, in the old version, it's literally like a freaking hostile situation where it's just like a, a cement room where all the vampires were just like thrown, like strewn about.
Really?
So he had an army of vampires already going because the whole thing is he's turning the whole town into vampires,
Yeah,
you
that
know?
was the point of the movie. Yeah, it's
So
just
like
converting everyone.
yeah, he just literally has them all hanging out like a bunch of dogs, like inside of like some like concrete room.
Really?
So
Yeah, that's
yeah,
kind of
that's how it
boring.
was.
That was kind of boring.
You know?
But I think the
Yeah.
only thing that I seen that was good from like the 24 version was like, yeah, the car trunks were serving as like coffins. Because the moment they realized like, oh, where are all the cars, and then they go to the drive-in, it's just like, oh shit, and then it's kind of classy to put it all in like a drive-in when you have like this big screen, you know,
Yeah.
and they kind of like showcase that like early on that there's like a drive-in, and then of course like they're playing movies, and then while like at the climax of the movie, like that becomes like a very typical like movie confrontation itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like,
I
oh,
mean,
the movie monster is like literally right there across the screen, so it's like actually popping out of the screen.
huh. That's true. I didn't
Yeah,
think about it that
I
way.
just
But
thought
remember
about that
when
right
like
now. Yeah, I just thought about that right
you
now.
thought about like you thought about that scene where he like
Yeah,
hits him with the thing and then you could see like the good guy on the other side like poking that hole like through his head,
yeah,
you know? Like that was crazy.
that was crazy.
Um but
Lewis
I like
pulling.
him driving the car. Let me tell you, the kid
That's
that
funny.
played Ben Myers in the new one and
Yeah,
how they wrote Ben Myers in the new one compared to the old one, he was way more of a badass, bro.
yeah,
He
I
was
like that
way
one.
more of a badass
Yeah, that's what I was
in this
saying. I
one.
liked I liked him because of course it was a character that beats to his own drum, and he was
Yeah.
just like very much in charge, even when like his parents didn't even believe him about the vampires, and then after that he's just
Yeah.
like he didn't cry, he didn't like do anything, he just went on like he took charge
He's
of
like, I
things.
gotta do this. I gotta do this, or else they're gonna take over, kind of
Yeah.
deal. Like he took it upon himself, and I
That's
thought that
crazy.
was crazy, dude. Like he was just like so ready to get down, you know.
Yeah.
But it's wild because it's like a long series. They were able to tell more of the story, but basically, like towards the end, the daughter that's like the teacher or whatever. You know how in the New Salem's Lot version, she turns and then they have to like they basically offer
Hmm.
like within it. Um, in the old version, um, she ends up they save her. She goes away, and
Really.
then they're running around. They're like they know vampires are after them. So like those two guys, Ben Mears and
Ben
the
Mears.
writer,
Yeah.
basically they team up. So the kid and the dude team up,
Really.
and because they know
Oh.
vampires are after them.
Yeah.
So they go to Mexico. They're like in Mexico, bro. And this is actually where they have a thing of holy water in a blue vial, and then it starts glowing, right? And then that tells them that there's a vampire near.
So it's
So
basically
like they may,
like Lord of the Rings when he has like that sword, and every time like there's orcs nearby, it just glows.
yeah. And that's why they took
Uh,
that and they used that in the 2024 version, but they used it a lot more,
they
And they used
use
it
it
the right way,
differently.
I feel like.
Yeah, they use it differently, and yeah, I think the right way is definitely the
But
right way.
the effect of the 1979 version visual effects
Hmm.
versus, obviously the new, it's way different. And like, I wish they would have used it more because basically at the end they find out like, oh, the girl that he was in love with or whatever, she's a vampire. She's going after them.
Yeah, I
And
think
then
the
they're
old
like, oh,
version.
they found us.
Yeah, I think the old version just played it safe. With this one, they just like didn't hold any bars. Like, oh no, the love interest is not gonna survive on this one.
Yeah, no, but at the end of the old one, before they leave, I think he has to kill her.
Really?
So like they kill her. Yeah, they
You
kill
made it
her
seem
like
like
when
it
she
was.
comes back to when she comes back and sees them in Mexico. He kills her, and then they're like, "Okay, we
Oh,
gotta
okay.
leave
I
because
get what
now
you're
they know
saying
we're
now.
here."
Okay, I get what you're saying. I
Yeah,
didn't know. I thought they went into Mexico and then they went back. I don't know why I
but
thought
yeah,
that.
dude, and they're wearing like a serapes. They're wearing
So
like
racist.
clothes from Mexico.
I think they were trying to make a
They're
point
like,
like, oh, they're definitely in Mexico, but it's just like, no, at the times.
no, it says they're in Mexico. It's like Guadalupe, Mexico, or something like that.
Guadalupe,
And I was
Mexico.
just like, what? What is
Why
this?
are they
And they're
wearing
like
that?
living in a shack out in the desert. It's like, what's going on here? It was like a lot, dude.
Oh my
And I
god.
was like, what? Seriously, like, you're living in a shack in the desert. You know vampires are after you. It's like, what the fuck? And then, yeah, so that happens. But, man, that whole movie, that was such a trip, dude. Like, from beginning to end, I was like, what is going on, like, this whole time? Because, I mean, you know how you say in Interview with the Vampire on Amazon Prime, they were
Yeah,
mixing a lot of modern speaking into it. Well, this one, it was like very much in the time, you know?
really.
Everyone just spoke like that. So like, yeah, Straker speaks very proper, like that's his role. So he's like a dude from the UK. So he's like, yes, why do you partake? Are you doing this? And you know what I'm saying? Like shit like that. So I don't know. It's just like he stayed very true. And to me, because I didn't know the book or whatever, I didn't see that. I didn't see that he was gonna be the familiar. You know, I didn't see that
Right.
coming. You know, but it was just like he was like the out of town person, so they were just picking on him. But yeah, he ended up working with the vampire.
Damn. That's how it is. It's like when it comes to vampire lore, there's like the vampire who's the master, and then there's like someone like that's above him, below him. I would say he's
The actor
familiar.
that played Ben Mears, what Lewis Pullman? I want to say he was in
Louis
um
Pullman is Bill Pullman's son. Bill
A
Pullman.
Night at the El Royale,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Yeah, Bad Times at the El Royale.
Yeah.
He's a bellhop
Really. Oh damn.
and everything. He's like the everything there,
Yeah. he's
basically.
everything. He's the guy that works the whole motel in there. Yeah, bro. He. I recognize him because of his dad. His dad is Bill Pullman, and he looks so much like his dad. Uh,
Hmm.
Bill Pullman is from Casper. He was the dad from that movie.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, you see him. You see his
Yeah,
dad, and then you see him, and you see the resemblance, bro. I seen a
yeah,
picture earlier. I was like, I want to make sure he does look like Bill Pullman. I was like, that's his son. I know that.
yeah, he does. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you
have him
see it.
pulled up right there, and it's like, yeah, that totally looks like him. I was watching Casper the other day,
It's a
you
good
know,
movie, man.
dude. I mean, oh man, we got to do an episode on that one. But like, dude, those graphics hold up. I don't know what they did. They just like
It's cartoony, but it
they made it
still
look.
holds up. Yeah.
No, I mean it's a cart, but they use 3D in it, and it's just like the glow and everything. That's a whole nother thing. But yeah,
Yeah.
I good. He was really good in Bad Times at the El Royale Theater, and I didn't expect him to be in this movie, but I'm
Motel.
glad he was because he played that character really good. You
Yeah,
know,
it's
he was
really
way
well.
more. I feel like he was way more. His facial reactions and like with him saying less, he was a lot more of an actor than the dude from the 1979 version. You know.
Yeah,
He's like, you're
definitely.
not gonna do anything when the sheriff leaves the town. He's like, you're gonna leave, and the sheriff was like, yeah, peace out. He's like, I'm fucking out of this whole
That's
shit
funny.
hole. Like, I'll see you later. He's
Yeah,
got his
I
wife in the
guess.
car. He's like,
Yeah, I guess it was a mini series, but it was only like 2 episodes. So what you watched was like the whole abridged version of it. Like it's just
yeah,
2 episodes in one. No wonder it was like
yeah,
3 hours. Shit, bro.
yeah. That's why. But I didn't know that, you know.
Yeah,
But yeah, that was
I
basically
didn't
my
either.
experience with that movie. I just
So I guess
looking back at it,
I
yeah,
was just looking. Sorry, I was looking at the scores for um, through IMDb, but it looks like the older one has a higher score than the new one. Because the new one, I knew that shit was ass. Like literally
yeah.
a point away from each other.
What's the score?
It's a 6.7 on the old version and a 5.7 on the new version. That's a whole down. That's a
I'm telling you,
downscale.
I think
That's a
it freaked a
downscale.
lot of people out. like kids back in the day, like the generation
Yeah.
before us. I think they watched that movie and got freaked the fuck out. And then they were like, "Oh shit!" Like that's what they think of vampires when they think of vampires,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
I was thinking that would be a dope costume as a vampire slayer with the glowing cross.
It
Yeah.
just glows. It's just like, oh wait, I gotta recharge the battery.
One thing I got to talk about, if we're talking about the crosses, remember when they put together the popsicle sticks
That was stupid. Yeah.
or the tongue depressors
Yeah.
with the metal? They're like, "Get my tape." In the original, they do that.
Really.
They make a cross, and they have to bless it and stuff like that before they use it. And they like basically like they
Yeah.
freaking like hold it up and like it's wild. But you brought up a good point. Last time I talked to you, was like, yeah, she survived. She didn't become a vampire because she took the tranquilizer.
She took the
She took
rabies
that
shot. It
the
was a
rabies
rabies
shot.
shot.
Oh like
I was just like,
I
really?
mean I
Like
guess
animal? I guess too. I was just
That's what
like,
I'm
you got
saying.
saved because you took a rabies shot. Rabies shots are meant for animals, and then a vampire bit you. It's like, is that equal to like an animal? I guess you could see it that way, and she got saved. But I was like, is this valid? Like, hello? Like, I don't know. Like, it was weird. It was just like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
fuck. I guess that's the lore. Like, if you
Dude,
get
I mean, for
vampire.
me, now looking at it in retrospect of
Yeah.
vampires in general, out of all the monsters, like werewolf, you know what his story is. He kind of sticks within the lines of what a werewolf is. Frankenstein, you know his story,
Hmm.
like stuff like that. But uh, with vampires, you really can like they could have their own kind of different lore within it, like, and it could vary a lot, you know.
I think it's true of not just vampires. I think it's like all those creatures.
Hmm.
You could change the lore. You could change like different rules, just as long as like the spirit of that creature stays true. Because when it comes with
Right.
vampires, it's like there's that feeling of angst of existentialism
Existentialism.
that comes with it. But I think existentialism comes within like every creature within
Right.
the supernatural. And if you
Hmm.
just stick to that and just like the basically the vibe of what they are, you could basically just like change it to anything at your will, just as long as that spirit is just there, you know.
Right.
But
And that's what's cool about
yeah,
vampires.
it
You could
is.
kind of create their own little
Yeah,
whatever.
because it's like different lore. Like with fucking Underworld, like they don't fly, but they could jump high. But they still have like the spirit of the vampire, where it's just like, oh, they're constantly bored, and they can't be out in the sun for like at all. And you also
I
have
mean,
like
like
fucking like Twilight, where like, oh yeah, they could actually be in the
they
sunlight, but
sparkle.
they sparkle. I was like, that's
What
so
the
gay.
fuck? And then like in the new interview with the vampire series in Amazon Prime, like he had the daylight, but they just put like a UV
AMC Plus.
filter
Yeah,
in between
I thought that
and they
was.
were
I
fine.
forgot to mention that, but I thought that was pretty clever that they did that. It's just like, oh yeah, we have UV filters just to like protect us from the sun, which is
Yeah, it
crazy.
was like, but like everybody's got their own little thing, and that's what I like about vampires in general. But I mean, I'm kind of done talking about, Salem's Lot. If you get a chance, check it out. Both
Check it
versions
out.
are on HBO Max. I I want to hear your guys' opinion if you listen to the episode. What you guys think? What you think is better? Because I think in a lot of ways, and as far as special effects, um, you know, the new one's better, obviously.
No, it's not.
But in special effects, yes, the 2024 version was better in special effects because that window floating scene was sick in
Yeah.
in how they did it.
Um.
But at the same time, the environment and the set design, I feel like for the old one was a lot creepier of a vibe.
Yeah.
And I felt like was more what Stephen King might have wanted.
Maybe it depends what Stephen King wants. Um. I just want to point this out. I just looked at this art. This Is this not Patrick Star?
That looks like Patrick Star, dude. I was debating is that a tombstone or a ghost? I don't know.
I don't know.
It
He
looks like
looks like
I think it's a ghost because it's like his arms are like that.
yeah.
But if his
But I
arms are
like
like
I'm
that,
only
then that
saying
looks
that
like
because
Patrick
like it's
Star.
I'm only saying that because it's like the ocean's right there, so it's like it's a shipwreck, and then this was just rising out of the fucking ocean.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
Yeah, and I think it's supposed to
Dude,
be.
that might be
I think that ship might
Patrick
be.
Star.
I think that ship might be the Dementor, and that's
Maybe we should
actually
ask
Dracula.
Drekker and their artist. Is that supposed to be a wild Patrick Star version of
And that
Patrick
ship,
Star?
I think that ship might be the Dementor, the ship that Dracula traveled. Yeah,
Oh,
I think. That's two questions I want to ask. That's
what
gonna
is
be the
the
first question.
that monster hanging over? It's like a cross upside down in a Bible.
The green one? Which one?
Yeah, he's covering
That's a
like a
Bible?
sign or something like that.
I think. Oh yeah, that is the Bible. No, the sign is supposed to be a Bible. It's like a Bible icon and then like a cross. I think that's
Hmm.
why we got the. That's why you got the Bible. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah,
It's
I
definitely
like how
interesting.
colorful it is, but good call on the Patrick Star, man. I think you're right. I think it might actually be like
Is
a
that
funny
Patrick
take on
Star is
that.
like, yeah, we just made a very diabolical Patrick Star just coming out of the ocean, like Gojira.
Yeah. Beer check. How you doing?
uh, his beer is okay now.
The 6.7's hidden. I mean, this is the second one that we've had, but if you look at the bottom of your glass, there's a lot of
Hmm.
there's a lot of
I
lactose at the
noticed that.
bottom of it. That's what gives it the haziness. Do you want to jump into the honorable mentions?
Let's go for the honorable mentions. This is gonna be a
Let's do the
fun one.
honorable mentions. I'm excited for this one. Okay, so we got some links set up. We're gonna just do little clips of our honorable mentions.
We'll go
Here we go.
quick fire like with this.
We're gonna try to quick fire it as much as possible.
Yeah, but also give like a lot of prefix to it as best as we can. So this is from Dusk Till Dawn. They all find out they're vampires at a strip club, and this guy just says, "Fuck that." So this is Queen of the Damned. This is actually a sequel to, um, like Interview with a Vampire. So this is Queen Akash, played by none other than Aaliyah, right before she died.
Wait, so this is part of the interview with the Damn series? Interview with the Vampire series? I
Yeah,
think?
the Vampire Chronicles. Yeah, this is the second movie. So there's
That's
another.
Aaliyah.
Yeah.
I think this was like she did one other movie and then she actually
No, there was
passed
this
away
one.
after.
It was this one, and then she died. Cause this movie
There was
came
one
out
more
in
movie,
2001.
wasn't it?
Was there?
I think so.
I always believed this is her last movie she made. Cause
No,
she
I
made
think there was
another
one
movie,
more.
but it wasn't that great. And this is the climax. I'm sorry, but this is a spoiler alert if you haven't seen this movie. But just like the cut of this, it's just like wire work.
Very Matrixy.
Yes, that's a good point because it was definitely like Matrix style. Because they have the good usage of swords and guns, and it's just like, what, motherfucker? This is your blood. You're dead. Oh shit.
He was like, I didn't see it. He played him so well too.
I saw everything.
He's like that sassy aunt.
And he breaks the fourth wall,
Yeah.
just for that line.
There's
you know?
a degree of it.
But
Yeah.
that's the Mel Brooks version of Dracula Dead and Loving It. And there's so many different scenes. It was like the scene with the
I
enema.
saw
He's like, no,
everything.
first give him the enema, and then the straitjacket. It's like, what?
That's a
Okay.
gay joke.
So I actually found this. I found this one. This is actually the 4K Ultra HD version in color of the 1931
God.
Dracula.
It's so restored.
It's all restored. Everything. The Lugosi version right here.
Of course.
Just the original one, but like it looks so crazy, dude.
Yeah.
But he looks very cool, very OG vampire-esque.
Very
But I want to skip
smooth.
to the end because I like what he looks like and what they do with his eyes. So like here we go.
The animal.
Right
Yeah.
here, right here.
He looks like an animal.
So like he pours him some wine, and he tells him that's Renfield, isn't it?
No. That's Jonathan Harkins. Renfield is like that's
His lackey is like familiar, right?
He's familiar.
But
Yes,
like
exactly.
the way they're doing, like, oh man, they do the
The
close up
shadow.
on his eyes,
And then the
you know,
lighting
the
is on that.
shadow.
Yeah.
And now,
German expressionism.
Yeah.
well, good night.
So this is basically Keanu Reeves' role. on
But
this.
look-
Good night,
Good night.
Mr. Renfield.
Oh, it is Renfield. See,
They changed the name, but that's actually supposed to be Harker.
For your luggage. Look here. I trust you have kept.
Damn, they changed so much in the fucking 1931 version. They combined a lot of stuff.
Very kind of you, but I'm a bit worried about my.
dude, look at that set though, bro. Like
I took the liberty of having your luggage brought up.
it was like painted, like they're using
It
like
was.
forced perspective in it.
It's basic.
You know?
It's basically all fleshy. It looks fleshy, like with the red lighting and everything.
But yeah, I mean, but it's crazy because this was originally black and white. So like, by turning it into this, it became what it is now. But it's like,
Yeah, it is.
man, it's still a creepy, super creepy vibe. You know?
Yeah. It's a lot of good choices that they made with the restoration.
This is 4 minutes, but I think we can start from here.
So a girl takes a guy to a club. He didn't know he was gonna go into like an underground club full of like vampires, and everyone basically is a vampire. And this was
They're
just
having
hunting
a
vampires.
freak off in there, and just the way
It is a freak off.
the
Wesley Snipes is saving all
bodies
of them.
disappear.
Yeah,
I love
it's
how
very
they like
simple. It's very simple.
they turn to ash and just like
Yeah, and they just turn into skeletons. Oh shit!
that was
yeah.
dope. Yeah, bro. But like, oh, the music in the background is such a vibe, dude.
Yeah.
It's just like, and back to the Matrix kind of vibe. You know what I'm saying?
The Matrix is so fucking influential that I think. Actually, this is before the Matrix. Believe it or not. This is '98.
Yeah.
That's him!
That's him.
That's him.
Fuck him up! We're gonna jack you up! Make him hurt bad!
That's the dude from that one TV show.
Yeah, the dad.
Yeah, what's that TV show called?
Donald Legueux. It was called
Grounded for Life.
Grounded for Life. Yes.
Oh shit!
Him and
no.
the brother actually became like really good. They had really good careers.
Look at that,
Bro, that lighting.
dude. Yeah, it's just so Matrixy. He pulls
Yeah.
out the blade. Dude, what is his body count in this movie?
Just a lot. Oh, there's actually a
What?
podcast where they actually do like kill counts, and I think they did cover.
we don't
this
need a
movie.
buy. In this podcast, we found out in 5 seconds, thanks to the future of ChatGPT.
Ass your eye. That's- Oh, I love that. I'm gonna say
Oh
this.
shit. In the 1998 version, Blade kills roughly 77 vampires throughout the first movie.
That's a good number.
Yeah, that's a lot, bro. In 2002, the second film, Blade's body count is around 98 kills.
Guillermo del
The film
Toro,
include, yeah. And then the 2000, oh my god, bro.
Ryan Reynolds.
Blade Trinity 2004, in the third movie, Blade kills approximately 121 vampires.
It keeps getting higher.
Yeah, bro. He's killing vampires.
Bro, that's funny. I like how this guy, the grounded for life guy, he keeps coming back to life. Like he doesn't kill him completely.
Yeah.
He keeps like it's a gag reel.
We got the Spawn alleyway
I
right
feel
there.
yeah. I feel like
Yeah.
this movie was like the pretty much spread the way for like all the freaking superhero movies ahead of its time. Definitely.
So
I'll save
from
that one.
here, we were gonna move into sip on this.
Sip on this.
So for our sip on this, we wanted to highlight some video games, which is another one of our pillars. Thanks for staying tuned, those of you that did.
Yep.
We got some vampire video games that we played before, so I just wanted to show some trailers. Sergio got two, I got one of them right here, so I'm gonna go ahead and open the first one. Let's see what's up. And it's the helpful Honda people.
Honda people. Just go.
That's the wrong.
Why is it going
thing.
back?
That's the wrong thing.
I actually like this game. You got a free download.
I've been playing this one like little by little.
You play everything little by little.
Yeah, I mean I like to enjoy it, but I like what I was gonna say. Interview with the Vampire. I feel like they took the concept of getting blood from rats, because in a bind you can absorb rats' blood and get like a little bit of life.
Right.
You know, maybe that glowing cross was like a concept from Salem's Lot. You know.
You never know, because people just think like, hey, what if we get the cross to glow? Oh, they did that in Vampire. Who cares? We're doing that.
Yeah.
You never know where.
Yeah, that's what's cool about it too. Is like in vampire lore, you can kind of just take a piece from whatever you want.
Yeah, exactly.
And create your own. You know.
Yeah.
Nightmare. I did not choose the thing I've become, but I can choose the lives I now take.
Damn, that's a good line.
Yeah, I mean it's an old game.
Yeah, it's
it
an
was
older game. I haven't finished it.
PlayStation 4 free game, PS Plus free game at one point.
That's how we
and then this is you want to give a preface on this one?
Yeah,
Legacy
so
of Kain Soul Reaver intro?
Yeah, so this is actually the second game in a ongoing series. So I played this when I was like no, just put it back where it was at, cuz that's all the intros. Like that's why I put the timestamp.
Okay.
Yeah. So I basically played this game when in the 2000s when my mom cuz she's a housekeeper and she gets like she gets like stuff handed over to her from like her employers,
families that grow out of it, basically.
And then they just give it back to us. And I actually played this on the Dreamcast originally, and honestly, it just like this game stayed with me because it was just so cinematic. And at the time, it came out in 99 or 98, 99. And there was no game like it because there was like good voice casting, there was good writing, and everything about it was just so gothic about it. So yeah, just play it, and it's like a whole. You get the characters right away.
The clans tell tales of him.
And it's just like the master and then all the servants, the clans.
As were we all. However, his contempt for humanity drove him to create me and my brethren.
So they're all
I am
brethren. Razio.
firstborn of his lieutenants. I have served Cain a millennium. The gift continued to evolve. We became less human and more
Divine.
divine.
So they evolved.
Entered a state of change.
This is what we're talking about. Like, you could change the vampire.
Some years after the master, our evolution would follow.
He grew
Until
wings.
I had the honor of surpassing my lord.
That's cool. He's got wings.
Yeah. So he was the first
So he
one
can
to
fly around and
evolve.
shit.
Yeah. Yeah, he could glide. But yeah. This is a whole origin story. But you could actually, like I said, this is a whole series. So in the first game, you could actually play as Cain, and then in the sequel, you play as his, what would you call it? One of his servants, or
For
the guy
my
below him.
transgression, I earned a new kind of reward. Agony.
Damn.
Yeah,
He broke his wings off?
yeah. You would think this is something out of jealousy, but it's something that's like out of fate. Because this entire game goes on the theme of like fate
Possible outcome.
and timelines.
My eternal damnation.
So it's like kind of fucked up because this is like
I, Razio,
his eldest son.
to suffer the fate of traitors and weaklings, to burn for
Just to sacrifice him?
souls of the lake of the dead.
It's sort of sacrificing him, but you sort of surpass him, and he's just like get rid of him. So they go into the water, and water's actually bad for like vampires.
Tumbling, burning with white hot fire, I plunged into the depths of the abyss. Unspeakable pain, relentless.
I like
What
the language.
fuck am
I like
looking at? This
I like
is
the
crazy.
language. I like the fucking
Like
writing
getting
on
burned
this.
by acid.
Yeah, it is.
Hypocrisy that damned me to this hell.
So he's already dead in the afterlife, but he's resurrected as something else.
An eternity passed, and my torment receded, bringing me back from the precipice of madness. The descent
Magnus.
destroyed.
Magnus.
That's a powerful vampire name.
I
Yeah.
lived.
That always gets repeated.
Really.
That was Lestat's vampire that turned him was Magnus. He mentions it
Yeah.
in the movie too.
You are worthy. So he gets a second chance, and for the rest of the game, he has to go after his brothers after a millennia, and they all evolve, and he has to get rid of them. Manny, just
Okay, let's go.
cut
Soul
out the
Reaper.
sound, bro. The sound is coming out.
Huh?
Did you cut out the
I
sound?
cut to the next one.
Okay, go.
So this is Soul Reaper.
This is the trailer for the remastered version.
Okay, ready?
So it just came out. Yes.
I stood with Cain and my brethren.
So this is a new cinematic.
Until I had the honor of surpassing.
So guess what?
For my
Y'all get to play this game.
I earned a new kind of reward. Agony.
The fate of this world was preordained in an
So
Oh, it's
everything's
remastered?
remastered now. Yeah.
What
So-
madness is this?
You go into different environments to take revenge, and his brothers are all evolved and they're all mutated.
Beyond this threshold.
So you have to fucking kill them all before you get to Cain, who's the guy that actually like killed you. And all
Whoa,
this
it
is
actually
just like
looks like way cooler. Like the
Yeah.
detail in his
The
in his
details is
face and in his
definitely-
muscles and stuff.
the
future has always
Like even fabric. I
yeah.
want to see what that guy looks like in the new
I wanted that too.
updated. That's dope.
It's just a basic, and it's just not the first one. It's the second one as well, which is like coincided with his
Damn,
like his
coming out
journey.
for the PS5, huh?
Remastered,
There you
December.
go.
We're gonna fucking stream that bitch.
Let's do it.
Let's fucking do it, man. So yeah, that's our mention on the video game section of vampires, and also sort of our sip on this. I mean, after watching this, watching all the vampires things, like, I mean, do you want to give your final thoughts on just like
Well,
what you
this is what I was
experienced?
debating because I think the last episode that we did was like on classic movie monsters, right? And I don't know
Um,
what we covered. I think we just did
last
like all of them in
last
general.
Halloween, yeah, last spooky season we did do that. We had Hobby
But
on
who
that
did
one.
we cover a classic movie monster in general?
We covered all of them.
Like one specific ones.
No, we
So that was
covered
like the general one. So I think this going into this series, this might be part two specifically on Dracula. I mean, I know we didn't talk too
vampires
much
in general.
specifically on the Bela Lugosi one, but
Yeah.
I mean, obviously another one that we didn't even mention is Nosferatu. You know, obviously you have to mention Nosferatu, but I feel
Wait,
like
wait. Let
once the
me
new version
mention
of that
this.
comes out, that's
The
gonna
new
be
version
sick.
of it is gonna be pretty sick because it's just gonna be having the
Should I just do
classic on
as a
that.
little ending? Should I just do the trailer
Yeah,
for the new
let's do the trailer for
Okay,
the new
well that's
one.
a good ending, I think.
Yeah, but honestly, like,
Nosferatu 2024.
yeah, which is gonna be directed by
Guillermo del Toro.
no, definitely not. The guy that directed Northman, The Witch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's more artistically Edgar. No, fuck. It's gonna be right there in the trailer, anyways.
Edgar Allan Poe.
No.
Okay, ready?
He dead.
Come to me.
Oh my god, the
Come
bass.
to me.
The bass on this is incredible.
Come to me.
It's crazy. Robert Egger. I don't know why I said Edgar Eggers.
Likes eggs.
My dreams come
He
true.
likes eggs. Egger.
Does evil come from within us?
Very artistic guy, just like
Or
of
from
that.
beyond?
Doing things practical. William
He
Dafoe.
likes using Willem Dafoe. He likes using Willem Dafoe. He was in the Norseman.
He was.
Dude,
yeah,
look
he
at
was.
that. Wow.
Beetlejuice.
It's come.
It's Beast from X-Men First Class.
It is coming.
It is.
He is coming to us.
Oh, no,
God.
that guy just took a bite out of it. He Ozzy Osbourne that pigeon, bro.
I think that's supposed to be
What
like
the
the.
fuck?
I think that's supposed to be like the equivalent of Renfield.
Oh,
Yeah.
what's
Just-
with the rats?
Rats are a symbol of disease, just like vampirism.
Oh,
Yeah, I think that's what they're going for.
The vampire.
that looks like
Satan's thing.
a 20-sided dice.
Nosferatu.
It's gonna be intense.
Well, try
Christmas.
to sip after that one, people.
Right after Christmas, motherfuckers. Like we said before, you could always change the lore just as long as the spirit of fucking vampires is there within. And I think
Yeah.
that's what's keeping vampires in cinema, in TV, and in media in general. Because they're just that awesome.
I don't know about you, Serge, but maybe we might have time to do one more spooky podcast this season. One more
Maybe.
spooky one. Who knows what? Maybe Casper, maybe another monster. Who knows? We'll keep them coming. I think it's time to hit the button.
Alright, this has been a good one. Oh.
Oh
we
yeah,
have
you gotta
some.
do the full one.
Shut up.
Hey, it's been a while,
Anyways.
people. We're getting the gears
There's no
going
mute
again.
button on this. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? So, I can't really exit out of this one, but I will play the song. The final product. This is fucking annoying. But I hate you. I hate you so much. It's just so much.
I can play
Anyways, Halloween 2024. See you on the next one. We'll try to see if we can fit one more in there. But yeah, stay spooky out there, be safe, and stay golden. Peace.